What's up everybody, how's it going? This is Kynkie, and today we're going to be talking about some Blizzard speculation on upcoming titles. Hope you guys enjoy. Here at Less Than Epic, it's no surprise that we're pretty big Blizzard fans, and we also like to speculate on what game companies could do. We've talked about a couple things before on the channel, but today we're specifically going to be talking about Blizzard Entertainment. And today I want to start off with some job postings that go back to 2015. In 2015, Blizzard started hiring for their Diablo project. And yeah, sure, they've had job postings for Diablo and for World of Warcraft and all their titles here and there from time to time. But this position was a little bit different. It was for an art director. In 2015, they had a posting for an art director, and that was when the speculation started to come around. Are they working on Diablo IV? Are they working on a new expansion? Nobody knew, and there was just a bunch of speculation done on it. Moving into 2016, they had 6 new jobs that were, you could argue, could have been for new content of some sort, or one way or another. They hired a concept artist, a character artist, a visual effects artist. They had their game director leave, and so they put out a posting for that. They had a user interface designer hiring, and they also had a technical artist hiring. Then this past year in 2017, they also had a production director hiring for the Diablo franchise. Now, a lot of these positions that were opened up in 2016, people thought that the Necromancer and the Diablo 1 event was what those hirings were all about. People thought that, oh, they needed a character artist and all this kind of stuff for the Diablo event and the Necromancer specifically. Those were both announced at the end of 2016, so you could see where the correlation would come, where some people would say, oh, they hired them, then they announced it. And then 2017, both the Diablo 1 event was released and the Necromancer was released. That being said, the production director job wasn't posted until after the Diablo 1 event had already occurred and the Necromancer had been released. I don't see why they would need to hire they would need to hire a production director for a game that doesn't look like it has anything new coming in for it. Usually a production director isn't hired to help maintain a game. And it wasn't, the job posting didn't say specifically Diablo 3. It said the Diablo franchise, so who knows what that could mean. Could these job openings been for part of that Necromancer and Diablo 1 event? Possibly. Could they just be backfilling people that were moving on to other projects or leaving Blizzard? That's possible too. Or what a lot of people were hoping was that it was a new game. 3 positions that stuck out to me to make me believe that it was a new game. The first one was a user interface designer. Now, yes, that person was hired before the Necromancer was announced and the Diablo 1 event came out, and if you've played Diablo 3, you know that the interface, when you play through the Diablo 1 event in January, which is actually live as of the recording of this video, the interface is a little bit different. But I found out while I was researching for this that somebody at Blizzard who already worked there developed that UI on his own time. So the user interface designer that they hired didn't create it. It was already created when he got there. The next one would be a concept artist. I don't know why Blizzard would need another concept artist. I mean, they have a lot of talented artists at Blizzard, and even if it's for, armor or something that they're throwing into the game for the Necromancer, I'm sure when Diablo 3 was being developed for its initial release that they had plenty of armor models to go and look through that they never used or that they could modify, and I'm sure they have plenty of artists that would have been happy to create new armor for a Necromancer. So I feel like a concept artist would be a little bit out of the norm, and usually a concept artist is for, again, something new. So why would they need a concept artist for something new when they're just maintaining the game, so to speak? And the last one I touched a little bit on itself was a game director. And it's not for You wouldn't hire one for a game that isn't going to be releasing content. And I don't think it's for a new expansion. I don't think we'll get a Diablo 3 expansion, another Diablo 3 expansion. I think if we're going to get anything from the Diablo universe, it's going to be a new game. My reason for saying that is that every other game that Blizzard has, there's a way to monetize that game. World of Warcraft has all its pets, it's got all its mounts, you can buy currency, and it has a subscription. Enough said there. You have a subscription that's monetized enough. Heroes of the Storm, you can buy loot boxes. Overwatch, you can buy loot boxes. Hearthstone, you can buy card packs. What can you do in Diablo? Nothing past buying a $2 character pack. So they're obviously going to want to monetize Diablo because Diablo is a huge franchise. It's extremely popular still. So why wouldn't they want to monetize it? My thought is that they're trying to develop a new game with the thought of how can we monetize this while they're developing it. The next game that they've had a lot of hirings for is this unannounced first-person game, and this one started a little bit after Diablo. The job posting started in 2016 when they hired a senior technical artist and a lead engineer. And those job positions continued into 2017, a tools engineer, a technical artist, a character artist, a concept artist, an environment artist, and the most recent one, which was only posted a few weeks ago, a senior software engineer for gameplay and vehicles. The timing that these jobs were posted on the Blizzard page was right after the Diablo ones. So in my mind, I thought initially, hey, it seems like they're working on a first-person Diablo game, which, I mean, that'd be pretty cool. I don't know how I would feel if they moved Diablo to that permanently, or if it was just like a one-off. Either way, could you imagine a Diablo world in the like Elder Scrolls style, like Skyrim but Diablo? That'd be fucking awesome. But after that vehicles engineer posting, I lost all hope for that. I really don't think that's what it is anymore. Most likely what it's going to be is it's going to be a new IP. So who knows what it could be. We can't really guess as to what it's going to be. Nobody knew what Overwatch was except for the few leaks that we got about from Titan and thinking, oh, they're recycling content from Titan and putting it into Overwatch. That was the best guess we got. Something else that could be cool would be if they're doing a new Overwatch game, but hold on. Not replacing Overwatch, but making a first-person player Overwatch with a campaign. And I know that I just talked about monetization, but hear me out for a second. Overwatch has been massively popular. Blizzard would want to capitalize on that. What have people, other than obviously fixing the current game, what else have people been asking for the most? A PvE mode. You put in a campaign mode that has an overarching story, and then you release individual story arcs for each hero. That could be how you could monetize that for Blizzard. I think it's less likely than a completely new IP, but that's another speculation guess to what it could be. Now we're starting to get into the tinfoil hat speculation games here. The first-person game, if it's not going to be a Diablo game, which was kind of crushed by the vehicle postings, because I don't see how you can incorporate vehicles into a Diablo game. The next best guess for other than Overwatch, like a branch off of Overwatch, my next best guess would be Starcraft Ghost. Now, I know Starcraft Ghost itself was officially canceled in 2004, but the reason why that was canceled was because when they were working on that was around the same time that WoW came out, and Blizzard was trying to deal with the massive success that WoW was having, and they didn't know what to do. So they had to throw people onto it that were working on other games, namely Starcraft Ghost. So they ended up canceling the project. Now, I don't think it's going to actually be Starcraft Ghost, because I feel like part of that story has already been told, but I feel like it could be a Starcraft type game, a first-person Starcraft game essentially. If you do that, you can monetize that game the same way that you would do the Overwatch campaign with that previous speculation that I just said. So you could also make the argument that they would make it an MMO type FPS game like Destiny 2 is. But the problem I have with that is Blizzard has said that they don't want to release another MMO because they don't want to split their MMO audience. So it would have to be different enough from World of Warcraft to not make people have to choose between one or the other. So I think it's just going to be a straight up FPS game, if anything, and I really feel like it could be something with StarCraft. Now we're getting super tinfoil hat. Like, you need a full roll of aluminum foil to make this freaking hat. You gotta follow with me on this one for a second. If Blizzard decides to do Starcraft Ghost or some sort of FPS Starcraft, that means they're moving the Starcraft franchise to an FPS, which means they don't have an RTS. If they don't have an RTS, what would fill its place? Warcraft. Warcraft 4 there's been a lot of people asking for Warcraft 4 for a very, very long time. There are some people who just prefer the RTS, the storytelling in the Warcraft world, in the RTS style, rather than playing through World of Warcraft, watching the cutscenes and stuff like that. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with them releasing a Warcraft 4. If they do, I just don't know when they would put it in the timeline, because they already have the next expansion for World of Warcraft coming out later this year. So, I mean, by the time Warcraft 4 would actually come out, sure, that expansion could be 4 years old, but who knows. But the reason why I started thinking about all this and looking this up again is because of their product slate that they've had come out recently. In 2017 was a really soft year for them. So, like, the last time I can remember a year this soft was when WoW first came out, and they just didn't have the manpower to work on anything else. 2017, we saw the Starcraft 1 remaster, and we saw Destiny 2 get added to the Battle.net launcher. So Destiny 2 isn't even a Blizzard game, and Starcraft 1 is just a remaster. So that's all they had for 2017. 2018 also looks pretty weak. Right now, all that we know for sure that's coming out in 2018 in terms of major releases is Battle for Azeroth. That's it. We don't know about anything else. The last time this happened, like I was saying before, with these few amount of major releases, was when WoW first launched, and just Blizzard didn't know how to keep up with everything. Between 2005 and 2009, there was only 2 major releases for Blizzard, and both of them were World of Warcraft expansions. Between 2010 and 2016, they've had 12 major releases. They've had Diablo III plus 1 expansion, so that's 2. They've had Heroes of the Storm. They've had StarCraft plus 2 expansions. They've had Hearthstone. They've had Overwatch. And then they've had 4 WoW expansions. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 12 major releases. It's just hard to see a company like Blizzard that's been ramping up so much to have a year as soft as they did in 2017, and then 2018 with only 1 major release, go into 2019 without some huge news. Like I said before, I don't think any of these are going to fall in line with 2019, but I really feel like they're putting a lot of time and value and man hours into a Diablo game of some sort, and this first-person game, and possibly Warcraft 4. If we wanted to try and get any of these out in 2020, it would be extremely small window for any of these things to get released. We can bet money that there's going to be another World of Warcraft expansion in 2020, because those come out every 2 years like clockwork because they know how to push those out now. So 2020, we will definitely get another WoW expansion, and then after that, then the possibilities start coming in. We could possibly get Diablo IV by 2021. We could possibly get a first-person game. We could possibly get an RTS game. 2021 could be a huge year. That's when I think that is the earliest that we could see these games come out. And that is what I've been thinking about and researching for the past 2 weeks now. So I hope I caught you guys all up. I hope it didn't bore any of you too much. I know this has gone on a little bit longer than even I anticipated, but I like to talk about Blizzard if you couldn't tell. I hope you guys all enjoyed it though. Don't forget to drop a comment below, drop a like. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.
Hey, it's Radit here. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe as well. It really helps out the channel. We put out multiple new videos each week and we appreciate all of your support. Thanks for watching everyone, and cheers.